Greetings there, Mr. Sutton here with the IM3 Honors 4-5 Part 1 homework solutions on graphing quadratics. To graph this quadratic equation in intercept form, let's first find the zeros. So zeroing out each parentheses, we're going to have x equals -4 and x equals, for this next one, +4. So let me graph those out. We've got -4 right here, +4 over here. And now let me find the average of those, average those together to get the axis of symmetry, also the x value of the vertex. -4 plus 4 over 2, well that's really 0 over 2, so that's just 0. And then I'll just plug that into the original equation to get the y value of the vertex. So plugging in 0, I've got +4 times -4, which is -16, times this 1/2 in the beginning here, so that's -8. That gives me a vertex of 0, -8. So that's going to be, let's see, 0, -8 down here, and then just graph the parabola through those 3 points. For this problem, since this equation is in intercept form, I'm going to start by finding the x-intercepts, or zeros. So that's just what zeros out each parentheses. So x equals 1 and 9 in each case. So that's going to be, let's see, we've got a dot right here on the x-axis at 1, and over here, let's see, this is 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There we go. Now to find the vertex, which we always need to graph in the parabolas, we're going to average these together. So 1 plus 9 over 2, that's 10 over 2, which is 5. And then we'll plug 5 back into the original equation to get the y value of the vertex. So plugging in 5 for x in that original, we've got 5 minus 1, which is 4. 5 minus 9 is -4. So that 4 times -4 gives me -16. And -1/4 of -16, that's going to be +4 when all is said and done. So we have the point 5, 4 for my vertex. So let's see, over 5, up 4 right here. And let's just draw the parabola going through those dots. And this opens down just like we expect because we have a negative term out in front there. So we're done. To graph this parabola in intercept form, let me start by getting the zeros, whatever zeros out these parentheses. So that's going to be +3 and -1. And let me graph those. So we've got -1 here and +3 right there. And now let me average these together, 3 plus -1 over 2, to get the x value of the vertex. So this is 2 over 2, which is 1. Now I need the y value of the vertex, so I'll plug 1 in for x in my formula to get the y value of that. So we've got 1 minus 3, which is -2. 1 plus 1 is +2. Negative times +2 is going to be -4, but we have a -2 we're multiplying out in front here. So that's actually -2 times -4 is 8. So 1, 8 is my vertex. And that's going to be, let's see, over 1, up, let's see, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 right there. And then let's draw that parabola. Now, just as a little sanity check here, you'll notice there's a negative out in front, which tells us that the parabola should be opening down. And we look here and see that it is. For this problem, we're trying to graph this quadratic in intercept form. Now, it's positive out in front, so we expect this to open up when all is said and done. Let's find the zeros first. So setting this equal to 0 and solving whatever zeros out each parentheses, that's going to be x equals -2 and x equals -4. So that's going to be, let's see, we have right here at -2 and over here at -4. Let me do -4 first and then -2. There we go. Let's average these together now to get the vertex. So -2 plus -4 over 2. And that's going to be -3 when all is said and done, -6 over 2. So that's the x value of the vertex, the axis of symmetry. To get the y value of the vertex, we plug -3 back in for x in the original equation. So now we have -3 plus 2 is -1. -3 plus 4 is +1. So that's -1 times +1, which is -1. And then multiplying that by +3 gives us a grand total of -3. So we have the point -3, -3 for the vertex. So we're going left 3, down 3 for that. And then draw the parabola through those dots. To graph this parabola in intercept form, let's first start by getting the zeros. So if I figure out the x values that zero out both of the factors in this function here, for this first parentheses, we would need x equals -1 to zero that out. and then we would have x equals 5 for the other x-intercept. So let's take a moment to plot those on our graph. So we have -1 right here, and then over here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's our other x-intercept. Now we're just going to figure out what the vertex ought to be. To do that, we're going to average the zeros together because the vertex has to be halfway between the zeros. So we have -1 plus 5 over 2. That's 4 over 2, which is just 2. That then is the x value of our vertex. To find the y value, we're going to plug that back into the original formula. So we have 2 plus 1 times 2 minus 5. That's going to be positive 3 times negative 3. So that's going to be -9, which gives me a vertex of 2, -9. Putting that on my graph, we're going over 2 and then down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, right there. Now we've got 3 points. We can just draw a parabola through those, like so, and we're all set. For this one, I'm trying to graph a parabola in intercept form, and they already labeled my grid lines for me, which was nice of them. So let me start by getting my x-intercepts, my zeros, whatever zeros out each of these factors. So that's going to be x equals 2 and 4. So we've got 2 for an x-intercept as well as 4. Now to get the vertex, I need to average those together. That'll give me the x value of the vertex. So I've got 2 plus 4 over 2 to average those. That's 6 over 2, which is 3. And to get the y value of the vertex, we'll plug that back in. So that's 3 minus 2 times 3 minus 4. Well, this is really just 1 times -1, which is -1. So I have a vertex at 3, -1. Going to my graph, we're going over 3, down 1 for that point. And now I have 3 points to draw a parabola through.